What's happening there, guys, and welcome back to NBA Reloaded. From being one of the most popular players and making a name for himself to also being one of the most controversial NBA players, here's everything you need to know about 10 times LeBron James disrespected NBA players. Number 10, Ben Simmons. LeBron James and Ben Simmons have been training and working together for a long while, with LeBron constantly helping Ben Simmons get better. LeBron James has been training Ben Simmons since Ben was in high school, and Ben has even signed with the same agency as LeBron James. The two are now working under the same agency and train and work out together. There is no doubt that there's a lot of respect between LeBron James and Ben Simmons, but working with Simmons so closely has given LeBron James a clear advantage. LeBron James now has a clear understanding of Ben Simmons' psyche and has clearly used it to taunt Ben Simmons when he opposed him during a game. During a game, LeBron James went into the restricted area and tried to clearly blow off the shot that Ben Simmons was aiming for, showing no respect for his strategy. But Ben Simmons is not the only player or opponent who LeBron James has disrespected and tried to put down. Let's look at some other examples of players who were put down by LeBron James despite their well-thought-out strategies. Number 9. LeBron James humiliates players for blocking him. We've already talked about Ben Simmons, but let's talk about the time when LeBron James completely violated Ersan Ilyasova and humiliated him during a game. LeBron James is not known for having the best manners, and therefore, it's no surprise that he doesn't really respect his opponents or teammates. Unfortunately for Ersan Ilyasova, he too was on the receiving end of LeBron's awful attitude. Blocking LeBron James is never a good idea. Not only will he still get the shot in the basket, he will also humiliate you, and he's clearly not afraid of doing it. Evan Turner was also at the receiving end of this, and while blocking LeBron James, he ended up falling to the side of the court. Evan quickly got up, but instead of apologizing to him, LeBron James kept telling him that he didn't block his ball. Even when it comes to legends like Michael Jordan, LeBron James has no second thoughts about insulting his opponents, regardless of how big a name they have. Number 8. Jumping over John Lucas. LeBron James' game has reached legendary status, and everyone already knows how great he is at the game. We've all thought about what the perfect basketball dunk should look like, and to some extent, we can all agree that LeBron James achieved it to perfection. During a game against John Lucas' team, LeBron James seemed to be solely focused on scoring the basket and was running towards it in full speed. Unfortunately for John Lucas, who tried to block the basket, LeBron James just jumped over John Lucas and scored the perfect shot. Yes, it's true that John Lucas is not the tallest NBA player and is only 5 foot 11 inches tall, which must have been pretty humiliating for him. And while it was one of the best dunks that LeBron has ever scored, for John Lucas, his entire NBA career from that point onwards was only overshadowed by this one incident. Number 7. Blew out the Cavaliers in. After joining the Miami team, LeBron James found himself competing in a game against his previous team. During that time, the stadium was full of fans who were hurling hateful things towards LeBron James, and some even called him a traitor. The environment was pretty daunting and intimidating for any player. However, LeBron made the most out of the situation and gave the game his 100% effort. Quickly and slowly, the crowd realized that their attempts to ridicule LeBron James were fruitless and went silent within no time. Number 6. LeBron James and Steph Curry fight during a match. Just like Jason Terry, Steph Curry also met the wrath of LeBron James because of thrash-talking to him. LeBron James has previously mentioned that he's always wanted to play against Steph Curry and has even said that Steph Curry is one of the few NBA players he wants to compete with. However, when the match did happen, things didn't go well, and Jason Terry started thrash-talking LeBron James, telling him that he had no chances of winning the game. This obviously got to James's head, and Steph Curry and LeBron James soon broke into a fight. Number 5. Water Bottle Challenge. Back in 2016, when the Water Bottle Challenge had gained a lot of momentum, LeBron James and a few other players decided to also partake in the Water Bottle Challenge. They came to a mutual decision that they would do the challenge on the basketball court during the middle of a game. Sounds pretty crazy, doesn't it? In a game with New York, the court looked like a garbage can with LeBron and his team sitting at the corner and tossing bottles everywhere. LeBron James even threw a bottle inside the court during the game and made it risky for players. However, he then proceeded to dive on the floor and grab the bottle. The whole time, LeBron and his entire team could be seen giggling in the corner, and the camera even zoomed into a scene of where they're just sitting and laughing while the other players are engaging in a very intense game. Number 4, Jason Terry. In addition to insulting his opponents and teammates, LeBron James clearly has some unresolved issues. During a game, LeBron and Jason Terry had some thrash talk between themselves. While this seems like a pretty common thing when it comes to sports, it didn't sit well with LeBron James. He quickly got physical and became extremely violent towards Jason Terry. Not only did LeBron try to hurt him physically, he almost killed Jason Terry, and all because of some trash talk. Don't you think that's a little too much even for LeBron James? All of this started because back in 2013, LeBron James and his team were on a winning streak and were facing a match against Jason Terry's team. Jason made a comment saying that he wasn't impressed by the opposing team's winning streak or anything else that they do. This obviously upset LeBron James, and he almost tried to kill Jason Terry on the court. What's worse is that it was pretty clear that LeBron James had no remorse for his actions and even admitted to seeing Jason Terry after he fell. Number 3, spiked the ball into the ground at the Olympics. Despite having many accreditations to his name when it comes to the world of basketball, it seems like LeBron James cannot have enough of the glory of victory. During the 2008 Olympics in Beijing, LeBron was on his way to score a basket when he got blocked by a player of the opposing team. LeBron quickly jumped in the air and slammed the ball from the player's hand. The ball slammed really hard and bounced back 20 feet in the air. If this humiliation wasn't enough for the player, LeBron James then went on to give the player his infamous death stare. Number 2, Green Thompson. Remember the time when LeBron James and Steph Curry got into a fight during a game and Stephen told LeBron that he had no chances of winning? Well, at the end of the same game, when the players had lined up, LeBron came in contact with Green Thompson and the two quickly got into a physical fight. LeBron clearly seemed agitated at the situation and brushed Thompson aside in a very aggressive manner, showing his superiority on the court. Number 1, Isaiah Stewart. LeBron James takes his career as a basketball player very seriously and doesn't mind hurting others if they stand in his way. During a game, LeBron ended up hurting Isaiah Stewart to the point that Isaiah had blood coming out of the corner of his eye. Isaiah kept trying to reach up to LeBron and retaliate to the situation, but was warned by a group of coaches and guards. However, LeBron James seems to have no remorse throughout the situation and didn't even bother apologizing to Isaiah Stewart for his actions. Well guys, here's our pick of the top 10 times LeBron James disrespected NBA players. Being a sportsman doesn't just mean conquering the game, it also entails sportsmanship, which means respecting other players. Let us know what you think about LeBron James disrespecting NBA players. And while you're at it, do be sure to like and subscribe before we head out. Bye for now.